right. We can talk about anything you like. Just listen. Take a walk right over to my kitchen. What you wanna do? Come mix it up with the stew. So tell me what you wanna do. Come mix it up with the stew. Yeah, come mix it up with the stew.
Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of The Stew. We truly appreciate you taking out time to watch us today and chit chat with us. We want to dive right into things, but before I do that, just in case you forgot my name, because I need you to remember my name. It's Anika, aka Kita Style.
Anita,
really?
and it's Janae. Nay.
And I'm Les.
Hey. All right, so we want to dive right into things. Facebook is a whole up in arms about.
It's so
hard.
Is it just Facebook though? I think just social media.
Just social media, yeah. It's so hard to
the
up
news
in
outlets
arms.
too. The news outlets.
The news outlets. Oh yes, that's true. Anyway, everyone's up in arms.
Yes.
About Mr. Renard Henfield's latest position as now a senator. And so everyone's going crazy saying that Mr. Henfield said before that he will never pledge any political allegiance and he would do this and that. And now he's a senator and he seems like a hypocrite and all these things.
Yep.
And I just feel like you cannot please Bahamians ever. If you want to please anybody, don't start here.
Yeah.
It's just not,
well, see,
no.
The whole point is that he was supposed to remain a regular citizen and do his part as a regular citizen and just continue to advocate for change, continue to organize marches, continue to get the crowds and the communities rallied up, and just basically continue to hit the streets, pound the pavement, and say, hey, this needs to change, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, and that's just how it was supposed to remain.
And then nothing changes because he has absolutely no part in the process.
Yes.
So the fact that people are actually up in arms makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you want to be change, you have to be a part of change. You have to actually influence change.
Be the change you
and
want to
a part
see.
of that means actually getting in these organized. Stupidness. I call it stupidness because at the end of the day, politics is politics. People are going to, we have corrupt politicians. We have things that didn't actually happen because we had these people in power that did not care. So when we actually have someone in the position to do the things that we've been talking about, freedom of information was one of the
Gender equality, all of it.
All of these things are things that the people have been marching for. And now you actually have the person that's decided to say, you know what, I'm going to be in here making sure these things happen. Why are we upset? People have the right to change their mind, do what they want, and this is what he did.
I think too, why not hold him accountable or cast your judgment after some time, like after he's been in the Senate, and let's just say he doesn't do anything, then you can say, you know, Renard, we can't trust you. You said that you were marching for the people and you want to remain neutral and you were going to advocate for change, and then you've been in the Senate 6 months, a year, 18 months, and you did nothing. But I feel like it's way too soon to say that, and I agree. You have to go, like, listen, to anybody who wants to advocate change anywhere, in any field, even if it's not political, how else are you going to advocate for change if you're just on the outside banging on the doors, but they're still having meetings on the inside anyway, making decisions on your behalf? So, I mean, the man is free to change his mind, and more than anything, I think that it is great that he finally has a seat at the table in a way that he can impact change. Let's judge him after the first 100 days.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
I love that, first 100 days. So, ladies, I want to switch gears just a tad and have a very important and incredibly serious question to ask. But have either of you ever used a dating app?
No. No.
Never ever?
Is that a thing
ever?
here? No.
I know. Is that a thing in the Bahamas?
No, I don't really think it is. I know I have friends who've used Tinder before, or
the hooking up
other one. Exactly, but it's a hooking up app. I'm not looking to hook up with nobody.
It's an extremely popular way now of dating in the 21st century. We're not a part of it because we're a bit up there.
Y'all, is that really?
Definitely the young kids. Even there are a lot of even Bahamians that are trying to get into like the dating app arena, like create one for the Bahamas. Because it's so popular. You have your Tinders that, I mean, it's incredible. I have a few friends on Tinder, and it's just incredible because someone could travel here, and then Tinder picks up your location. Yeah, like any random person can actually travel to the Bahamas. They'll pick up their location, and then Tinder will show you everybody in the area that's looking for like a hookup for that day or that night, or even a relationship.
Interesting.
Why did you know?
Sounds like STDs to me. I don't want no part of that.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, is it really a dating app? Is it a dating method, or is this just a hooking up method? Because there is a difference, you know. Are people taking these relationships a little bit further, taking it a little bit more seriously, and making it matter?
It depends on the person, Les. There are definitely people who are on these dating apps just to like, you know, they're not into, they just want a nice, fun time when they travel. Boom. And then you have people that really have a hard time finding someone here, especially in Nassau. Things can be hard.
You know what's funny, though? It's not to say that you cannot find love on a dating app, but let's be real. How many people do you know, ladies, or do any of us know, that have actually had a relationship go to the next level after just a hookup?
I would say, for me, not from dating apps, but from like social media.
I'll leave that one alone. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I mean, I know people who've met online.
I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it turned into a real thing.
Okay, well, good for them.
So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's not my personal cup of tea. That's all.
Good for them. Like I always say, do you, boo?
The one thing about dating apps, though, is when you actually find someone about 10 to 15 years your senior, and then there's the age gap.
I feel like we've had this conversation many times before.
Do you have an age limit specifically?
Not necessarily. I believe in compatibility. I believe in connectivity and bonds and how spirits speak to each other. Really.
So the age don't matter.
Don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to get hooked up with anybody who got one foot in the grave and the next one on the banana peel. That's not what I'm saying. However, no, I mean, if someone is within, say, I don't know, just my same frame of thinking, youthful enough that we can participate in activities together and just enjoy each other and we're compatible, I'm good.
There's a cutoff for me. Let me see. I'm
good.
I don't think I want to date anybody that's older than 12 years than me. No, more than 12 years older than me.
So suppose if it's like 13 and a half years.
What if it's like George Clooney?
Exactly. Like why are we just
Obama? Like if Obama came to you right now,
and she already said
and Obama is at least about
he's in his 40s. He's not 50 yet.
I was just about to say, so he actually fits my age thing by like he got grace period, because he's Obama. He gets a grace period because he's Obama.
I'm pretty sure he's over the 12 years.
Anyway,
just proving my point.
Besides Obama, because he's obviously a complete exception on all causes, all levels, all everything, right? No, for a few reasons. One, like, and based on my experience before, even just being around older men, you know, just different interests. For where I am in my life, sometimes you find an older man who's in a different place, may want to get married right now, want to do other things. But that's
what I'm talking about. That connectivity has to be there. Like, I don't necessarily feel that an age or number should put a limit on what your feelings or what your spirit is speaking about.
I'm concerned about lifespan too. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
well, that's
the reality. In the Bible, people lived for hundreds of years.
But that's why you don't pick
but in the Bahamas, men probably make it to 50.
Exactly. I mean, no, they make it to 50. They make it to about what? Sorry, terrible. But they make it to about 80 something and some. I want to be able to have a long lasting.
Not with all these bamboo shack and
I'm serious, man. So honestly,
they don't make it too far. So I mean, if you're with a 50-year-old, and they probably, I don't know.
I don't want to raise kids by myself, and I don't. And I mean, death can happen to anybody, obviously, at any age.
Listen,
so let's say you broke up. Let's say he kicked the bucket, and now his best friend is on the market. Would you date? I guess he'd be considered your ex by then. I don't know. But would you date your ex's best.
No, that is the grossest thing in the world.
That's
First of all, how are we hanging out together afterwards? Because that's your boy. And you know what? I can't trust a dude who does that, you know. Yeah. Because I feel like you're doing this to talk about me to your boy. Because real men don't do that.
But not just that. That is a complete and utter violation of the bro code. Yeah. Everybody knows that. Of the girl code, of the sister code, of every kind of code of relationship. And I mean,
how do you talk to your boy? Like, if I'm dating my ex's best friend,
what if you guys
and he's like, yo, what you was doing this weekend? Oh, you know, me and Nico was chilling. And it's like, I used to be chilling with you, though, so it's strange.
Yikes.
It's nasty.
You know what? And if you happen to connect with that person, you need to just ignore those feelings and move on.
It sounds like Les.
I know. It sounds like a very sensitive situation here.
She might like be battling with something.
You want to share some more, Les? This is a safe
She doesn't want to break the code, but they have such a deep connection, which can happen. Yeah, I've definitely
So it has
seen
happened.
time.
So if it does happen, should you just ignore the feeling? What happens if you do start to like your ex's best friend?
Move to another country.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that serious?
Nobody's doing that, Leslie.
No. I'm just saying.
No. Ain't nobody moving to no other country. You used to live here, so maybe.
Speaking of exes, ladies, what do you think your ex would have to say about you? You know, time has passed. You've both moved on. You're in other relationships. You're in a different time and space. But how do you think your ex is going to describe you to people in his life now?
I just want to say the Stew is a very trapsy show.
Yes, it is.
First and foremost, the old trapsy around here. Really trapsy. My ex would,
right up.
My ex would definitely still. Number one thing my ex would say is, this girl is a workaholic. Like, she's a go-getter. She's a workaholic. She's a go-getter. And then he would say, I'm crazy. I'm a crazy workaholic.
Sure it's that order?
Does it matter?
I think I'm more of a workaholic than crazy. I get crazy when you try to tamper into work.
But it's your ex, though, so he probably gonna pull out the crazy first.
No, man.
Think about it.
He's a nice guy, though. I don't think.
Oh, what would my ex say about me? I don't know. Do I really care what my ex says about me?
That's not answering the question. What would your ex say about you? This girl always trying to like this is a safe space.
That's why we're exes.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he'd say you're needy. How about that?
Me? I'm crazy. Needy and crazy. Say it together again. I like that. 1, 2, 3. Needy and crazy.
Y'all could go and... You know what?
If you weren't going to pull anything out the hat.
I'm done with them right now.
If you weren't going to pull anything out the hat, we have to guess. And
there you go.
That's my best guess.
All right.
I'm not speaking to y'all right now.
All right. So anyway, on the next side of the break, we are talking to Johnathan from Fantasy Weekend. If you want to forget about your ex and all the things he had to say about you, you're watching The Stew. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Stew. We know that summer is pretty much here, and that means tons of parties and tons of cool activities to get involved in. Fantasy Weekend promises to provide a jam-packed party weekend for Bahamians and international clients alike. Join us in welcoming founder Johnathan. Well, get on out here. He's strolling on out like.
I was taking snapshots.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a good excuse. Good morning. Hello.
How are you?
He's like, I need to take my time, put the camera away.
Exactly.
Fantasy Weekend, excitement, luxury, paradise, and it ain't no fire festival. All right, so Johnathan, let's hop right into it. I see that there is a white party, a beach party, a headphone party. Please tell me, you know, the accumulation of all these parties and what can we expect from Fantasy Weekend?
All right, so 3 days, 5 events. Each event is themed differently. So you start off with the headphone party, Silent Fantasy. That's hosted by the wine and queen and Hail Me herself.
Okay.
And then the next day you have Fantasy Waves, which is a beach party that's out of Nirvana, It's great. Have a good time. And then you have Gumbe Fantasy. Gumbe Fantasy was originally supposed to be like a Juve type situation, but we were like, you know what? We're coming to the Bahamas. We want our international guests to experience Bahamian culture, so we created Gumbe Fantasy, and that's going to be at Fort Charlotte. So you'll have fire dancers, you'll have junk canoe, and there you'll see Prince, Marnie, you'll see Sawyer Boy, and you'll see King Cloud, and they'll do a little comedy show, Kalika, Susan, and then whatever Cloud's female character's name.
That's so cool. Now, you mentioned international clients, and again, we have to talk about Fire Festival because it seems like they tried to do kind of what Fantasy Weekend is doing. And obviously, needless to say, it had a huge backlash. Has your party been impacted in any way due to that?
Actually, when we when everything happened with Fire Festival, we, at bookings at the time, I think we were upwards of about 185 in terms of international packages.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got at least about 50 emails from people saying, hey, you know, what's going on? Can I get confirmation on my hotel? You know, I already booked my flight. Can I know where I'm going to stay? Do I know my room?
I need some pictures and some video.
Correct. So we decided to completely change the way we were marketing and advertising. And with that, we came down to the Bahamas, my partner, and my other partners, all four of us, we came down to the Bahamas and we started like humanizing ourselves. And me as a young Bahamian, even though Bahamians here trusted it because they see my face, it's still our international guests.
Exactly. So how do you actually get how did you get Fire Festival? Oh Lord, Fantasy Weekend. I'm like, oh, Fire Festival. No Fire Festival.
That's a bad word here.
Completely bad. But how did you actually get Fantasy Weekend out, and what has the response been like so far?
What we did, my business partner, Young Star, Richie Bliss, Pablo Posh, Terrell Trico, they own parties in Miami. One of the biggest parties called Pearl All White. And so when we met up, I said, guys, you know, I'd love to bring that to the Bahamas. And then I was like, well, I'd like to make it a weekend, you know, because I think like the Bahamas, we need more activities to do, especially destination events. Bahamas is such a great country for that. You know, close to the United States, easy to get in and out, dollar values up. Yeah, it's beautiful. So we decided in Miami, we started through our connects, we started local advertising, but we really went through, and I will say this, kind of like what Fry Festival did was they utilized other people that already had high Instagram followers and high following to market their product. So that's what we did with, you know, the Prince Marnies, Gallus in Paris, and Hail Me, Susan, Chatty Boy, Sawyer Boy, King Cloud, Beanie Man. These different people we utilized to get the event out there. And as we started to do that, based on the responses that we got, we kept on pushing forward and we kept on adding events and things of that nature and adding different concepts to it. And at first the response was, it was a little bit slow because it's a first time event and people tend to lack trust when they got to get on a plane and go somewhere. You get what I'm saying? So people were like, you know, oh, I'm interested in it. Can I have more information? We got a lot of those. And I would say that it wasn't until we started ramping up the promotions through our social media host and then adding Beanie Man that people were like, okay, this seems like it's legitimate. We actually want to go.
How did you come up with the concept of having all of these different events? 5 events over, what, a 2-3 day period? Yeah,
man, that sounds exhausting when you say that.
It does sound exhausting, so I can only imagine the process, just putting it all together and the locations, just the entire logistics of it all must have been a task.
Yeah, so my partners, they worked with a weekend similar a couple of years back. They worked under somebody. So we kind of looked at that concept and said, okay, we can kind of, you know, take that in a sense and put our own flavor into it. It's just with us, there are certain things that we made easy on ourselves. Like, for example, with the venues, we double up on the venues. And that's good, so we don't have to get stuff and go over to the next venue. We just kind of set it up, make it look pretty, and then you come back the next day and you'd be like, wow, is this the same venue? So that, and then the parties, the events we chose were conducive for the Bahamas in itself. Everything outdoor. So, I mean, hopefully, you know, the weather is good. But yes, everything outdoor, and then, you know, just really trying to put that Bahamian culture into it.
So can people participate or can people attend single events, or is this all inclusive? Like, how is that all gonna work? What's the plan with that?
So we have weekend bands, right? And they start at 200. And this is all inclusive. Like, I don't know maybe when I was in high school.
Drinks, everything.
Yeah, like drinks and food. And see, that's the
crazy.
reaction. That's the reaction that people have been having.
For 200.
Yeah.
The entire weekend.
Because you can blow 200 by the bar alone.
Exactly.
One night, one shot.
Wow.
In one night. So when you
incredible.
start with all that drinking and that Cavassier on the rocks and all that, that go quick. But yeah, when I
Premium drinks, right, or nah?
no, so
Janae's like, this is most important.
no,
Gotta know this.
no, you get VIP band for $300, you'll get your
Okay.
premium, but that's just
Okay.
$100 more.
Right.
But it's crazy because when we were promoting, me and Prince and Gallus, we were downtown walking around. You know, people run up to Prince, oh my God, Prince! And this one girl, she I remember her name too, but I'm not gonna call her.
You put her on blast like that.
No,
You ain't
no,
gonna
no.
break her like that.
But so I told her, I said, hey, you know, you want to see Prince and you want to see Inhale Me? She's like, oh, I love Inhale Me. Da, da, da. I love Chatty Boy. I was like, all right, well, come to Fantasy Weekend. And so I gave her the flyer, and she was like, $200? Yeah, that's a lot of money. I said, but that's 5 events. She said, but I still gotta buy drinks. I said, but no, sweetie, it says all inclusive. She said, what's that? I say, all right, all inclusive means you get a cup, you go to the bar as much as you want.
You drink it, you empty it, you go back to the bar.
You go back.
And you go back
until
again.
you can't drink no more.
Wow.
Or until the party over. Same thing with food.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
so that's another reason why we've been like pushing hard with radio and, you know, being on television and stuff like that, is to tell people what it is. And to get people to think like, wait a minute, it cost me $45 to get into one party, $10 for drinks. I'm gonna drink again.
Yep.
And I'm definitely gonna drink again. And I might see a girl, so I'm probably gonna drink again.
And you might have to buy for her friends too.
Exactly.
Right. So you end up with $180 in drinks.
Yeah. That's an awesome deal. So where can people purchase tickets? How can they find out more information? And let us know when it all kicks off once again.
So you can go to JFK, Galleria, or Galleria JFK, West Bay Street Barbershop, Airbrush Junkies. You can go to the Bristol location on East Bay at the end of the bridge. You can go to Gladstone Road location. And you can find them online, individual and weekend bands, at www.fantasyweekendbombers.com.
Lovely.
Nice.
Definitely.
Awesome.
And it all kicks off right here in the 242.
June 2nd.
Our lovely long holiday weekend, which is fast approaching. So don't waste time. He just gave you the locations and the website. Check it out for yourself. Carry a group of friends and just have some fun. Love yourself for the long holiday weekend. Johnathan, it's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. I appreciate
Come back
it.
whenever you have another, fantastic fantasy weekend or something to tell us about.
Definitely. Every year thing.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We'll see you with more stew after this. We are back with the stew, but unfortunately, we actually have to go. We want to remind you to be sure to check out Fantasy Weekend. Look them up online. You know, the big weekend is coming up right here in the 242, the weekend of June 2nd, so be sure not to miss it. And in the meantime, be sure to catch the Stew Daytime on Facebook, and you can find all the episodes there that you have missed. We will see you next time.
Is right. We can talk about anything you like. Just listen. Take a walk right